Hello, I'm Michael Hagan.
And I'm Laura Murphy.
Today we'll be talking about Nikola Tesla and the conclusions we came up with through our essays, how they are similar with one another, and how he relates to history.
First of all, despite his lack of financial support and his official patents, he was an important inventor and created some of the world's most important inventions. One of them would be the AC motor. Between Westinghouse and the Tesla Electric Company, there was a bit of a conflict. While Tesla was still trying to get his patents approved for the AC motor at the US Patent Office, Westinghouse was claiming that they had already experimented with similar things and had already basically made the AC motor. However, Tesla was using things that they weren't using, but in the end, he wound up having to transfer over some of his patents to them because of their claims. He was okay with this because he didn't want to make wealth for his own gain, but to have money to do future work. But he wound up having financial struggles in the future. One of them, the most important one, would be his laboratory burning down in 1895, which destroyed all his electrical apparatuses. So he completely had to restart, and obviously that was a huge financial strain on him. By the end of 1897, he was really struggling. He had to send over 51% of his patents to JP Morgan for wireless, and Marconi basically stole his idea for the electric tower, so he was really struggling there. But he needed more money to continue his work on the tower, even though Marconi took his idea. The thing is, he didn't have enough money to support him and his experiments, and he didn't have enough money to even hire lawyers that would stop the people who were essentially stealing his patents from him. So he was really just strained under these economic pressures, and his work wasn't able to come to fruition because of that. But however, he was still a prominent and influential inventor. He was recognized by publishers such as Electrical Engineer, Century Magazine, New York Times, and even got the Edison Medal in 1917. And he became somewhat of a society darling in his early career. So he was definitely recognized, and his contributions to the AC motor and other things with electricity was really important.
Even though Edison invented more things than Tesla, he still had a big impact in the world than people may think. Without Tesla's contributions to technology, some technologies would not be around today. From my research, I found out that Edison and Tesla used to work with one another. When Tesla first got to America, he worked under Edison for a while, but after a while, Tesla left working with Edison because he wanted to pursue his own ideas. Even though in books they say they're enemies, actually they were just rivals. They never hated one another. I remember recalling that Edison came to one of Tesla's lectures once. Another thing, Tesla's experiments have had a great impact on our world today. One of them would be what Maura mentioned, was the alternating current that helped produce new ways of electricity, while Edison worked on the direct current, which was not as useful as he thought. And another invention Tesla worked on was the X-ray machine, which changed the way medicine was done today in the medical war. Another great thing Tesla came up with, or had, was an open mind to new ideas and experiments. Edison usually was stuck in his ways and stubborn with, it has to be this way, which ultimately sheltered his ideas from growing any better, which Tesla noticed when his experiments were failing, he was able to change the way he was doing it. Another great thing about Tesla was that he was a hard worker from when he was young, back when he was over in Europe. Edison is also a great hard worker, but Tesla had to work much harder because he struggled a lot more in his inventions and all. The similarities in our conclusions are the invention of the AC motor was one of his most pivotal projects in his career. Throughout his career, Tesla had a lack of funding for his project and failed to acquire patents for a lot of his works. Although Edison and Tesla were the same field of work and worked with one another, Edison succeeded in acquiring patents and proper recognition.
How this relates to history is, well, Nikola Tesla's career was during the time of the Gilded Age from the 1870s to the 1900s. It was coined by Mark Twain. Basically, it meant that America was covered in a thin layer of gold, but it was rotten underneath, which was masking serious social problems. During that time, the rich became richer and the poor more poor. It was also a time of great capitalism, which was the industry, the means of production were largely or entirely privately owned for profit. And it was also a time of robber barons, which was an industrialist or wealthy or powerful businessman that swindled consumers and squashed competitors. So there wasn't much of a competition going on. They kind of took over with monopolies and things like that. And Tesla also went through two huge economic depressions, the Panic of 1873 and 1893. More so, 1873 put him in more of a financial struggle since it was a chain of bank failures, and the New York Stock Exchange actually temporarily closed, and Tesla was working in Manhattan around that time, so that obviously he was already going through financial strain, so that would have put a huge worry on him for his experiments with electricity and things like that. And also, obviously the competition was really tough and he had a lot of competitors going on, and with things that corrupt businesses, that would make it even harder for him to really accomplish all of his goals. So Nikola Tesla had a lot against him, but the important thing to remember is that he did have a lot of pivotal inventions and really was important in making them what they are today. So that's our project on Nikola Tesla, and we hope you enjoy.